Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B. You watching DaveBeyondTV, where we go beyond the everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. Happy new moon, you know what I'm saying? So I did want to make a quick video chopping up the energies real quick. Hold on. Y'all see I'm driving and shit. I got the music blasting and stuff. You know, that was a song called Optimistic and shit. And I think that, I think that that's important right now. But of course, it's Virgo season, so it's not about being blindly optimistic, but it's understanding that being that we're in this energy, you know, whenever we're hitting the new moon, it's like having to start the game system up again. You know, it's like we have to remind ourselves, or whatever energy the new moon is in, we be having to put ourselves in that space, which can be a little difficult. But one of the key ways that you can do that is by keeping in mind that you could always use the opposite energy. Really, I ain't gonna say you supposed, like really low key you're supposed to, in the sake of balance and things of that nature, understanding the opposite energy so that you have kind of a starting point to derive inspiration from, or a direction, because you can understand, okay, whatever house you got the new moon going down in, that opposite house is more than likely going to be where that last full moon was at. So even in this case, the last full moon was in Pisces. So there was a conclusion. Like, full moons is really us coming to a certain conclusion, even though the true end of the moon cycle is when the next new moon begins. But full moons, if you look at like a movie, right, the full moon will be the climax, and usually the climax is where the best part of the movie is. It's where the lesson, everything comes to a resolve, and then well, it's actually the beginning of the resolution. It's like, but it's the epiphany. It's the turning point. It's when everything changes. It's when the, you know what I'm saying, it's the big battle before somebody actually is declared the winner. You know what I'm saying? So in that process, you could look at it like, okay, that's like a conclusion point, you know what I'm saying? Or the thing that sparked to a conclusion. So whatever the full moon was like for you in Pisces, that gave you an idea of how all this shit was going to go down. And then the energies that pursued it was the resolution aspect, you know, the fall in action and the ultimate resolution after the climax and stuff like that. But whatever the resolution was, 9 times out of 10, it had a lot to do with what you came into realization during that climax, whether you won the battle with yourself and what you was dealing with, your circumstances, or you lost, you know what I'm saying, where you had to learn from your mistakes and you had to reconcile with whatever you had to reconcile in order to be in a clear space now. And hopefully that's what you did. You put yourself in a clear space. So now in this new moon period, you can do what you need to do without so much heaviness on your heart. And you don't have to play as much catch up. You can kind of start with a clean slate. If you play the good seeds though, you already have a strong enough starting point. Chances are you already been doing what it is that you finna do now. It's just with this new moon energy, you have new ideas to apply to it, that can enhance it and take it to a whole new level. So that's kind of where we are in a nutshell, you know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at your situation using this Virgo energy, understanding the opposition being Pisces, and the Pisces full moon brought us to a conclusion on certain things that we was doing when it came to our dream. You know what I'm saying? This whole period of time been all about our new character and operating in this new world. So we was already focused on routines and patterns and things of that nature with our actions and our awareness. But right here with the new moon, it's like, okay, how can I take that to the next level? You know, how can I take that to the next level? So understanding how to take that to the next level is looking at, okay, well, what was the dream that you settled down with? And understanding the dream and how you imagine yourself to be. Whatever your dream is, that's kind of like the inspiration for a lot of what your new schedule need to be centered around. Even though your new moon in Virgo is really about polishing your character. But that's the thing. What character would suit the type of imagination? It's almost like understanding what hero would need to be put in place in order to save the day. So if your imagination is kind of like saving the day, like that day and stuff like that, you're designing or creating yourself to be that hero that would be the perfect individual to make that day save. That was a bad analogy. I'll say like this. It's like you're trying to, you're conditioning your character, you're positioning your character to be whatever your situation needs in order to run sufficiently. So, you know, whatever that means to you, you already can look at yourself and understand certain things that you wasn't doing as a routine, certain responsibilities that you haven't been upholding, that is directly linking you to being like, oh yeah, okay, I need to adjust and modify this aspect of myself. I need to make sure that this part of me is on point so that I can carry out whatever I need to do in this space in a prosperous type way, right? So that's just the new moon energies. But for the most part, I mean, I got 2 videos breaking down new moon energies, and this will be the 3rd. But I'm saying that as a precursor to help you understand, like right now, you know, the biggest takeaway is, you know, like kind of how that song was about optimism and understanding the opposite energy of Virgo right now is to have a little bit of faith, have a little bit of belief in yourself, and understanding where your delusion starts and where your reality, like basically where your delusion needs to end and where your reality needs to start. So it's kind of like you can use the opposite energy, the Pisces energy, just simply to give you inspiration in the direction as far as where you need to be setting some of these ground rules, where you need to be setting some of these schedules. You know what I'm saying? That energy will give you an idea or some insight into, okay, this is the dream or imagination that I'm trying to achieve. Now, not everybody is motivated by the same things. Not everybody is inspired by the same things. So, you know, you got to be real with yourself too in the dream that you're trying to participate with, and really ask yourself, is that the actual dream that you are willing to put in work to materialize for yourself? Because if it's not, you can cut that early, and you can, instead of wasting time trying to, you know, participate in a dream that you don't even really care for, you could be more honest with yourself and put that energy towards improving a different aspect of your life that's more correlated to what you want to do. Because see, that's the thing too about dreams and the 12th house and stuff like that. Not everybody really see their dreams as something to pursue in this lifetime. Some people got other things that they tend into. You know what I'm saying? You might actually have other real things, like whether it's, you know, it could be something like raising your kids, and that's more important than your dreams and stuff like that. But everybody got dreams, and that could just be part of your imagination and what you want to achieve for yourself. A dream, and really the 12th house and Pisces energy, is less about some imaginary thing that you're trying to achieve. It's way more about a certain emotional state that you want to dive into, a certain feeling that you want to keep around you. You know what I'm saying? So it has very little to do with, see, a lot of times we just tell ourselves, oh, that's our dream. You know what I'm saying? We tell ourselves, oh, this is the dream that we want, aka creating some kind of, and a lot of time the dream that we done came up with that we're trying to cherish and carry out be something that has to do with having a certain amount of money, or, you know, being in a certain position professionally and stuff like that. And these ain't really even dreams. These are more so just aspirations for your goals. And this is why a lot of times people can get tripped up, where they make their dream something like, oh, their dream job and shit like that. Like, when you be having a mindset to look at something as a dream job, like, you got to think about what you really saying. You know what I'm saying? A job and a dream, these are opposite things that you're trying to bring together. So this is why, like, you even get situations where people be starving artists, where it's like, damn, like, you wasn't, who said that your dream had to produce you money? Who said that your dream had anything to do with a profession? A dream should be more so of a space that you're trying to be in. You know what I'm saying? We got to think, like, the 12th house and the Pisces energy in and of itself ain't got shit to do with any type of material gain, nor does it have to do with certain notoriety and being seen. A dream is about you being in your space, or a space that you able to be comfortable in, and a space that you are pleased with and that you can derive more creativity from. A dream ain't necessarily something that's supposed to grant all your wishes and stuff like that. It's supposed to be something that's already in and of itself the wish. So that's how you can get very idealistic about the workforce, and even like people who go to college, like, you know, people tell you in college, do what you love and stuff like that, when that ain't always what you're supposed to be doing. You got to understand what college is for. It's to get you a job. And what is a job for? It's to be able to run things sufficiently in the system. So the more intelligent thing to do sometimes is understand what you're able to do. So it's not about getting the most highest paying job. It's not about just looking for the money, but it's saying, what's the highest I can get paid for doing something that I'm able to do and get up every day doing. Some people get lucky and that do be something that they're creatively involved in or involves their talent. And really, if you really looking at this shit, you want to get to a point where it don't matter what you do. You got the creative mind to make it something applied to your talent. And a lot of times we naturally already gravitate to certain things that we are natural dispositions to our energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that you can actually see yourself doing and that you're able to get up and do every day. But a lot of that, it's just a different way to think about that. So what I'm getting at in this video is just kind of giving different context to the spaces that we're in at the moment, because we're in a heavy Virgo time, a heavy earth time. And it is about stabilizing yourself, but it's like the method of going about that. Right now, shit ain't gonna come easy, but you don't need to let that get you down. You don't need to let that complicate things for you on a different kind of level, because sometimes you could let certain things complicate the situation based upon just how you're looking at it in your perspective. Right now, with the new moon being in Virgo, see, here's the thing. Being that the Virgo space is what we have to put in energy to do during the waxing period, that's always when we get hit with a lot of the most difficult situations emotionally, that we're like basically forced. It's like we're in a testing area. Like waxing periods is always the time where you're going to be tested in your ability to maintain whatever you set as an intention. So you got to look at this as like, okay, it's time to get ready for war. In this new moon space of Virgo, you got to look at it like, okay, the number one goal is going to be Virgo energy, staying on task, making sure that I can stay consistent with something, dealing with criticism, my own self-criticism and the criticism of others, being able to take that and construct something, being able to be patient and work on something to be able to improve upon it to somewhere near perfection, but understanding that perfection ain't something that is, you know, perfection ain't nothing I need to strive for. It's just me maintaining a certain level of focus to improve upon certain things that I notice as far as the details of what's working and what's not working, and being able to take the results and do what I need to do with those results to see what I need to keep doing and see what I need to let go of and release in order to make more room and space for other things that can add to the efficiency or things running smoother. See, that's like the different ways you can kind of dissect this energy. The hard part though is going to be you not getting so hard on yourself. See, you could be equally hard on yourself and equally critical to yourself, or people around you could be critical about your ability to do something that might seem unrealistic, something correlated to what you're striving for that might not be present in the moment. And this is where the opposite energy of Pisces comes in, because see, if you are able to derive a little bit of faith, just enough faith to inspire you to do it anyway, to inspire you to put on the work boots and strap up your gloves and say, okay, yeah, this might seem like something that's harder, it might be out of my reach, but applying enough Virgo energy looks like you deciding to set the schedule anyway. And instead of stressing about all the reasons you shouldn't do it, instead you make yourself concerned with all the ways that you could possibly achieve it based upon you just staying consistent and having that level of focus, trusting yourself and having that faith in yourself and that belief in whatever it is that you're investing your time and energy into, that it is going to be worth it at the end of the day. But maintaining a certain clear spiritual space of not attaching too many expectations. Remember, this is going to be a full moon in Aries, so at the end of it all, it has more to do with you on a personal level. So you should look at this as an opportunity to prove yourself right or prove yourself wrong, prove yourself right. But how you prove yourself right is going to be completely determined by you in the space you in. Whether you proved yourself right in, yeah, I actually believe this is able to be achieved, and this is how I'm going to break it down. These are all the details I'm going to go through to make sure that this is something that can be a reality in my life. Or this is you proving yourself right as in, you know what? Maybe the people around me right. Maybe this is impossible. Maybe I don't. And see, you done wasted all of your mind putting energy and effort into not achieving your goals. And so you ain't got nobody to be upset with but yourself. And then this is going to be you, when we get to the full moon, extremely unsatisfied with yourself and your individual abilities, and unsatisfied with your strides towards your spiritual path. This is going to be you really being hard on yourself and basically losing trust in your own intentions, losing trust in your own self. losing a sense of yourself, really. And you're going to be forced to jump into that Libra space, again, dealing with oppositions when we hit the full moon. Because same thing like when I'm talking about in the new moon, jumping into the opposite energy. When we hit the full moon, we need to be satisfied with the energy that the moon is in, so that we have the awareness to jump into the other energy to create balance with everything going on at the moment. So you're going to be applying this selfish, angry, aggressive energy to your relationships, just based upon you not being satisfied with yourself. And ain't nobody got nothing to do with that. Where, again, if you prove yourself right in a positive way, you could have been in a position where you so confident in yourself that you have no choice but to give love and support to everything around you. And you set out a certain energy in the universe that you get that energy right back. All of a sudden, you see people wanting to support you and your individual intentions. So now you really in a teamwork, making the dream work scenario. So these are just different things that you got to keep in mind right now, because this Virgo energy could be very tricky, where just like that, you know, like, and that's the times we in too, where the spiritual warfare is so rampant. It's like, if you're not aware of these little nuances, you're gonna easily get caught up right now. And this is such a fertile time to get your shit together. And that's really why I'm kicking it like this, because right now you really can move mountains. That's what this earth energy is for. We have the actual ability right now, the gift to move mountains in our own life. But based upon how you already been seeing things and how you've been conditioned to believe things are working within reality, and your lack of awareness of a better tomorrow, that could be the remedy. That is like basically you making a concoction that's really poisoning yourself. You done put poison in your cup and then you drank it. Your cup being your emotional state, you know what I'm saying, and what you focused on, your thoughts and feelings at the moment. So being aware of that is just critical right now. And with all this earth energy, you already know the underlying emphasis is to get serious and get real. But realistic don't gotta be negative. Realistic don't gotta be you tearing yourself down. Also, if you around other people, sometimes you gotta let other people point out things that you might not be aware of in reality. But at the same time, you don't have to take their word so heavily either. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you are a vessel here to show somebody a whole new way of doing something. So never give up, never sacrifice or forfeit the potential for all possibilities to come true based upon who you are, because you got to represent your representation of all possibilities as well. And what somebody else deems as realistic or not, that ain't got much to do with you. Now you can look at reality and say, you know what, well, this is unlikely or this is more likely. But if you got the inspiration to do something, right now is your time to actually put it into practice. And you just might be surprised, because that's where miracles come in. And see, just being that we're in Virgo season, people might lose that aspect of life, you know, that side of life that is unexpected and unimaginable, you know what I'm saying, in that optimistic space. And see, this is, of course, it's coming from me as a Pisces during this season. So, you know, a lot of what I'm saying might sound like, you know what I'm saying, it's like it's a balance thing. It's still Virgo season, and I'm not trying to tell people to jump into some Jupiterian shit, but I always pay attention to oppositions in any season that we're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like even next season when we get into Libra, understanding our individual way of relating to certain things and what we got going on as an individual, and not allowing that to interfere with our ability to have healthy relationships or provide balance. Because in order to bring value to something, you got to be having something going on for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Any season we're going through, and I always like to understand the opposite energy, especially during new moons and full moons, just because we naturally need to kind of understand that opposite energy in order to bring balance in general. But this is specifically for right now when we getting the ball rolling, because see, the next moon is going to be in Libra, and so with that Libra moon, it's going to be taking this Virgo energy and figuring out how to relate it. But this could be you able to, it's going to be like everybody's going to be catering to initiating conversations based upon what they are aware of that could be improved, as far as a criticism or something like that. So that could be positive, because it really is a time for you to be able to speak up and relate yourself in a way where you allowing other people to examine you and what you got going on too. So it's kind of like, you know, we'll talk about that energy when we get there. But for right now, you know, this is just a time right now you need to be setting your sights on what it is that you want to build upon, and setting your schedule for what you know you need to be put you know you need to get on that schedule. You know what I'm saying? So that's purely for you. You know what I'm saying? That's purely for you as far as this new moon energy and you setting your new moon intentions and stuff like that. But even when we use the word intentions, you got to look at this stuff as like more so things you're setting as a path for yourself, things correlated to your purpose that you know is going to get you from point A to point B. And really, point A to point B, what I mean by that is really spiritually, it's like you improving pieces of yourself. That's like what these transits really are about. You seeing different aspects of yourself, and especially if these energies are different from you, understanding how each energy you go through is an add-on. This Virgo energy as a Pisces is an add-on. I'm enhancing my awareness as an individual so I can take my spirit, again, my spirit can continue to be beyond this astrology wheel, and all these things end up being tools that I'm just using to go about my travels on this plane. And that's how everybody should be looking at their shit. This is just something that I can enhance. Now I know how to be more like a Virgo. I know how to be more like a Libra. Now the concept of me being my zodiac sign is irrelevant. I'm more than, you know what I'm saying? And you can get into that magic of knowing that you more than just your zodiac sign. Because fuck that. You go through all the signs every year. So this is how you develop in our solar system would say, level up as a spirit. Shout out to him. That's why we do astrology, not to be just satisfied with bullshit and just to justify every animalistic nature and desire that we stuck in based upon what sign we came here as. Like me as a Pisces, I could be so satisfied with just being in my animalistic natures of needing my feelings to be satisfied all the time, needing my feelings catered to, and needing to being in La La Land and dreaming all day and blah, 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 blah. But nah, you start to realize as you become an older and more wise spirit, a stronger, powerful spirit, you realize, man, why the fuck would I condemn myself to just one space of the zodiac wheel? All this shit need to be under my tool belt. I'm not satisfied with just one piece. And not in a way I'm gluttonous and that, but it's like when it comes to this energy shit, understand you here experiencing life as an individual, as a spirit, to expand. So expansion gonna look like you going through the uncomfortable shit, doing the shit you don't necessarily want to do. And that's the thing. Waxing periods, you need to embrace every single aspect of what's uncomfortable. If you're not making yourself uncomfortable during the waxing period, don't be surprised when your full moon periods be nothing special. Don't be surprised when you don't see yourself advancing nowhere in life. Because, you know, that's where the magic is. The magic is where the pain is at. You know what I'm saying? The magic is where, you know, where the adverse, what they call it, adversity is. The magic is where the pain is. And it's not about being a masochist, putting yourself through pain on some perverted way, where you just hurting yourself. And that's people who keep on doing the same bullshit and getting the same results. It's not about doing, you know, torturing yourself or making life harder than what it need to be, but it's about understanding just how it's understanding the opportunity of this lifetime as far as developing yourself and strengthening yourself in ways that you just wouldn't be able to in a different plane of existence. And really, it ain't even looking at it like that. It's more so just you here right now. You know, so many people get so lost in their own head, they can't appreciate the processes that they going through or the struggle they going through. And you know, be real grateful if you got somebody to go through it with, whether it be a partner or a soul group or a community, whatever it is, a soul tribe, whatever you want to call it. But other individuals that you can, other like-minded individuals that you can share this experience with, that shit powerful. Even though sometimes y'all get sick of each other every now and then, even with your community, especially with your community, you get sick and tired of these people. But you can't deny, you know what I'm saying, it's a certain part of yourself that, you know, you should find, you know, to be grateful about certain things. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain space within yourself that you got to be grateful, because that's why we came here, to stop being so alone. So even though we all gonna go through, you know, batches and times where we gotta go through that emotion, or we gotta go through that experience of being alone, a lot of times, especially pertaining to things you're trying to get going for yourself. But the beauty of it all is knowing that you in this world sharing space. So the more you express yourself and you learn how to manage your own emotions, and you learn how to manage your experiences and learn how to do better, the more smooth you get with socializing and engaging with other spirits in the spaces you in. But a lot of times the core reason you don't even want to do that is because you're not in the right space. And that starts from internally. So there's shadow work you got to do to get you around the right individuals in the first place. And to have you in the right place, right time, aka you expressing yourself authentically, you being yourself and showing up as yourself regardless of what's around you. That's automatically going to push you in a space to be around who you're supposed to be around. But everything comes down to how well you can manage being uncomfortable, how well you can manage being in a certain emotion that you may not like. And again, we got to understand we are beyond our emotions, our thoughts and feelings. We create these things. So anything that you're experiencing, you can change it. And that's just the level. That's what you got to just keep in the back of your head. But it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen as quick as you would like it to. But that's part of this life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we going through a long patch of uncomfortability because we've been bullshitting for that long, whether it's in this life or a past life. So it's not about bitching and complaining about what you got to go through. It's understanding that, well, shit, it might be this, but I can change it as long as I stay consistent with the space and understanding that, hey, this is just a patch of uncomfortability I'm going through. The better I manage it, the quicker I get with it, the smoother my life becomes. People fuck up because they try to find a shortcut to go through life without having to feel the pain, without having to go through that struggle. And it's just not realistic, not realistic. You wouldn't be down here on a third dimensional shit. Because you got to look at the third dimension we in. Look how far gone this shit is. So on some level, nah, fam, you manifested this shit to go through it. You just passing through. It's just an experience. But there's stuff here that you must have felt like you resonated with that you had to resolve. So, you know what I'm saying? Just take that for what it is. But getting back to the point, this new moon, and keep that in mind, like certain things we go through, it's like people make so much more work and turmoil for themselves, tower moments and all, just because they trying to avoid an uncomfortable feeling. Embrace those uncomfortable feelings and shit like that, and master that. Because you got to think, if those are the only thing that's in between you and living a good life is being uncomfortable for a couple seconds, minutes, maybe hours or days, maybe weeks or months, maybe a year, a lot of times just going through those uncomfortable moments, not only does it end up being a lot shorter than you think it is, but you end up expanding yourself to a point where you grow past it. And it's no longer a problem anymore. But when we try to avoid, take shortcuts, and all that other bullshit, this is where we develop shadow priests, golems, demons and stuff like that, quote unquote, that be esoterically chasing us. And that can go on for eons and shit like that, where you got spirits chasing you, which is why you even in this world scared of certain things, not wanting to jump into certain things. These are light forms. These are beings that is fucking chasing you, and you being a bitch. So you got to turn around and confront that shit and being like, nah. Today is where that shit stops. You know what I'm saying? And again, I go through certain shit I still working through. It's not about, I'm not speaking from here as if I don't go through this shit. That's why we all here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I even, do what I do as far as creatively, the things I express, and why I post videos and stuff like that. Because it's like, I be going through shit too. But those who know themselves and those who have the power to teach, or I don't say the power, but those who are here to teach and who have, the awareness to do certain things, you're supposed to do that. People who have the gift to do that got to do that. So you need to identify your gifts and dive into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let God work. You know what I'm saying? Let God work at that point. But God got to work through you. And if you're not doing anything, God can't work through you. If you're not doing your gifts, you're not jumping into those spaces, those uncomfortable moments, you're not even familiar enough with God for it to come through you in the way it's supposed to. Instead, God gonna come through you in a way to shake up your world, to put you in a space where you have no choice. And you don't want to always live life being thrusted into a space. You want to start doing the thrusting yourself. That's why they be making That's why they be making analogies, or they be saying shit like, man, life is fucking me over, or like, you know what I'm saying, life is you know, what they be saying, bro. Like they be y'all know what I'm talking about, where it's like people be like, oh, life fucking me, you know what I'm saying, life is fucking me, or I'm getting fucked up, or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, you need to reverse that narrative and turn it into you fucking the universe and you fucking life. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm living. Like, and that's why I say, like, life is a bitch. You need to be fucking life, not having life fuck you. You know what I'm saying? That's a sad existence. We here too long. Earth is too long. And all you do is make it longer for yourself. Because again, you might be thinking, oh, I'll just bullshit this lifetime. But then you die and come right back. Life is long. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Much love. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm open for astrological consultations. Just hit me up at dave795ab@gmail.com and I'll get back to you. You know what I'm saying? I like to do like hit me up and we'll talk about what you need as far as a consultation. My website is under maintenance at the moment, so I'm working to get that back situated. Should be back up sometime in October, probably like the end of October, around the same time that the new Each One Teach One class is gonna start. But I'm gonna keep everybody posted on that. And yeah, yo, shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all check out Mooney Mercury, baby. He dropped a tape. That's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I shared it if you haven't seen it yet. What else? I feel like I always be forgetting something to talk about. But I guess it's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. I got some other things coming. Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait to announce that. I'm gonna make probably a separate post to announce that, or mention it in the next video I do. But you know, that's another thing too. If y'all got specific things y'all want me to tackle as far as a topic or just a question, you know, don't be afraid. Don't hesitate to drop it in the comment section and just let me know. And I can go ahead and put together some other miscellaneous videos along with these transit videos and shit like that. So anyway, I just wanted to make that clear. Like I said, much love. Catch you on the next one. Peace.